Okay, now you're live now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Lina Hassanin, IFMSA-Egypt NOME and SCOME Development Assistant. Welcome to our first IFMSA-Egypt medical education-related webinars. Our speaker today is Mr. Marouane, SCOME Regional Assistant for the EMR. ازيكم يا جماعة عاملين ايه؟ النهارده احنا حابين نعمل شوية حاجة مختلفة في IFMSA-Egypt. هنعمل ويبينار سيريز هيبقى واحد كل شهر ان شاء الله. التوبيك بتاعنا السنه دي ان احنا هنكون بنتكلم عن حاجه، التوبيك بتاع الشهر ده ان احنا هنكون بنتكلم عن حاجه اسمها سوشيال اكاونتابيلتي او المسؤوليه الاجتماعيه. سبيكر بتاعنا النهارده مستر مروان سكومي ار اي الاي ام ار، وهسيبكم معايا دلوقتي اكلمكم شويه عن وات از سوشيال اكاونتابيلتي.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you, Lina, and hello, IFMSA Egypt. I'm really happy to be among you guys. So, first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Marouane, and I am from Morocco, and I'm going to be your SCOME regional assistant for this year. And I'm going to express my gratitude and happiness for our first medical education themed webinar organized by IFMSA Egypt. It's a really great opportunity for you to learn more about medical education and the many topics and that we are concerned about, and also how to empower your knowledge about it. And today's topic is social accountability, and as it has become one of the main global external focus areas of IFMSA, and it is important for us as comedians and medical students to know about it and to implement it on a local level. So first of all, what is social accountability? We've been hearing about it all the time, and we need to know about it more. So the World Health Organization defines it in 1995 by the obligation of a medical school to direct its education, research, and service activities towards addressing the priority health concerns of the community and or the nation they have the mandate to serve. The priority health concerns are identified jointly by the government, healthcare organizations, health professionals, and the public. So we're going to explain a little bit more this definition by the World Health Organization and what does it mean in concretely. So what is a socially accountable school? A socially accountable school, it goes beyond just being a socially responsible school. It goes beyond just identifying the priority health need for its community or the region they are serving. For example, a university in some city that identifies, for example, NCDs or tuberculosis as the priority health needs of its community. It goes also beyond just being responsive to these health needs also. For example, not only being knowledgeable of these needs, but also addressing their actions and their education and their research towards addressing these needs. A socially accountable school is a school that not only addresses these needs, but also takes part in a partnership with all the stakeholders that are concerned with these needs. And as the World Health Organization has mentioned it in their definition, it's not only the government, but it's also the the healthcare organizations, the health professionals, including medical students, and also especially the public, since they are the first reason and the first concern of this topic. So now knowing what is social accountability and its importance for medical school, we should also know why we should have social accountability and why is it going to be beneficial for the public and for the healthcare system of a community or a nation. Being a medical school, being socially accountable, it addresses its actions towards providing a quality healthcare services. So by addressing the needs of its community, it addresses all its power and all its efforts towards addressing these needs. And by addressing all these efforts, we have a good quality healthcare service. The second reason would be equity. Having an equitable social and healthcare system would be more would have opportunities for everyone in our community or our nation to have access to healthcare and to have access to a quality healthcare. And it would be relevant also to the needs for the community, to be relevant also for the priority healthcare for healthcare priorities for this community, to establish a sustainable partnership system with all the stakeholders that are concerned with healthcare, going from the government, also all the healthcare organizations, even also the healthcare professionals organizations, including IFMSA and in your case IFMSA-Egypt, and and also like the public having an interactive and bilateral communication system with the public and also with the healthcare system, so as to be more efficient and to build up a future for the future healthcare system for the children and for the future generations. And this way we can build a very efficient healthcare system to not only be addressing the priority health needs for the community, but also to exploit all its resources and to take part and to be very efficient, whether they have the need, regardless of all the resources they have. For example, it doesn't matter that, for example, this university or this healthcare system has all the material or human resources that are necessary for our community, but also it should be like efficient for the community they are serving. So these are, for example, many examples for the reasons why we should have socially accountable school. And I'm going to switch to Lina so we can see more of the toolkit that we have in IFMSA and how are we going to use it and to implement it on a local level, so we can work on this topic with our universities. And yes, that's it.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm back. I hope that you got the basic idea and the importance of social accountability and why we need it, especially now in Egypt. احنا عندنا, as most of the comedians and members of IFMSA-Egypt know, we're working on the Towards Better Medical Education project, and we're trying to work on our system. So part of it, since we're changing it, is to make it socially accountable, which is very, very important. So my part here in this webinar now is gonna just take you through the basics of IFMSA and VNet Toolkit on social accountability. They were very gracious to present it last August meeting in Tanzania. The toolkit is very useful if you need to assess your college, to know whether the college is socially accountable or not, and its level of social accountability, if it is accountable. مبدئيا كده, this is the toolkit. I'm going to share my screen with you. This is the toolkit. The link for the toolkit and the IFMSA page اللي فيها toolkit وكل حاجة متعلقة بالسوشيال accountability will be shared on our Facebook group and Yahoo server مجرد الويبينار ده يخلص. مبدئيا, this is the general picture of the toolkit. Introduction, content, blah blah blah, word of welcome, and a smaller introduction on what is social accountability and why should we use this toolkit. Now to the important part. how to assess social accountability in your school. مبدئيا this is the scoring implication أو ده الرينج بتاعت السكور اللي تعرف بيها الكولج socially accountable ولا لأ. from 0 to 8 you're not socially accountable، محتاجين تبتدوا تadvocate على الموضوع ده. 9 to 17 شوية socially accountable، محتاجين نحسن الموضوع ده. 18 ل 26 you're doing well بس ممكن نشتغل شوية ونحسن الموضوع ده. 27 to 36 you're socially accountable، محتاجين بس تستمروا في الموضوع ده. Basically most of the time in Egypt we fall among these two. تمام، بس يعني أكيد في extremities on either sides يعني. How do we use this toolkit? These are the 5 values of social accountability. But this is the assessment tool. This is the assessment sheet. الأسسمنت sheet فيه كذا سؤال، وكل سؤال منهم based on الانسر بتاعه 1 or 2 or 3 وبتجمع السكور في الآخر خالص، وهتلاقي نفسك falling on the spectrum اللي احنا اتكلمنا عليه فوق ده. تمام. طب أنا مش فاهمة السؤال. reference تحت annex number 1 على كل سؤال you will see the question. هتلاقي الجول من السؤال ده، الجول اللي انت المفروض تكون وصلت له او هتوصل له، indicator لو الجول ده اتحقق ولا لا، وانت هتتاكد منين ان الجول ده actually is achieved or not as a student. تمام. في annex number 1 في 3 tables in case you do not understand any of the questions. اول حاجه طبعا as a single student من كليه كل دفعه فيها ممكن تكون حوالي 1000 او بتقع في الرينج ده، يعني انك انت تحلها لوحدك دي هتبقى حاجه بايظ جدا. to use this tool is something that's really biased. فاول حاجه you need to be a group of people preferably من دفعات مختلفه systems مختلفه نفس الكليه، بس تبقى a different number of people different backgrounds within الكليه عشان ما يبقاش راي بتاع حد فيكم biased او dominant. تمام. بعد كده you answer the questions كلهم. تمام. and then you calculate the score. طب انا عملت الكلام ده هعمل بيه ايه؟ what do I do؟ back to me بقى. هعمل انا ايه بعد ما قست انا الكليه بتاعتي socially accountable ولا لا، و I found out whether it's socially accountable or not. It's very simple. Again, on the website, the toolkit that's prepared by IFMSA and DNet includes everything. It includes a presentation which you can use to advocate social accountability to your medical education unit, your quality assurance unit, your faculty administration. You have letters that you can present to them so that they can use this toolkit to assess their faculty in case they considered your opinion biased or something. This is basically it. Our role as students is always to advocate for better improvement. And this is why we can use this assessment tool to make our system better. For an example, let's take a small example, University X. How would we assess University X? Let me share my screen with you for now. For a starter, does your institution have a clear social mission around communities that they serve? الكلية عارفة هي بتعمل ايه في الكوميونتي، في المجتمع اللي حواليها، والميشن بتاعتها ليها علاقة بالمجتمع اللي حواليها. I would say somewhat, so that gives me the score of 1. Does your curriculum reflect the need of the population you serve? 2. Does your school have community partners and stakeholders who shape your school? 1. Do you learn about cultures and other social circumstances in medical context in your curriculum? بنعرف الحاجات التانية غير أو الثقافات التانية، الحاجات اللي بتحصل في أماكن تانية غير بتاعتنا في الكريكولم بتاعنا. ده حقيقي. ف I would say 3. طيب. Do the place location you learn at in practice include the presence of the population that you will serve? Yes. Are you required to do community-based learning? No, it doesn't happen. Does your class reflect the socio-demographic characteristic of your reference population? يعني هل احنا بندرس حاجات ليها علاقة بالطبقة الاجتماعية، حالة المجتمع، البيئة اللي احنا عايشين فيها؟ Somewhat. Does your class reflect socio-demographic, teachers reflect socio-demographic characteristics of your reference population؟ ده بيحصل، تمام. Does your learning experience also provide an active service to your community? Yes. Community-based research? Yes. Encourage you general specialists? Yes. School have a positive impact on community, يعني في النص. But that gives me the overall score of around 25. So I fall on the third spectrum اللي هو 18 26 ان احنا عندنا areas of weakness ومحتاجين نحسنها. So this is basically how you use the social accountability toolkit if you want to assess your college. Now to the IFMSA page. Here you can find a video on what is social accountability. Here is the toolkit. And below here you can find all the data you need. Here is the presentation in case you want to advocate social accountability among your fellow students, whether IFMSA or non-IFMSA members in college. You can find the tool explained in it. You can find a different tool used to assess in it, but it's a bit older. You can find the assessment form on its own, the one we were just using. You can find the letters to send to medical school, letters to send to your association or LC, whatever. And here is materials if you want to use it for a social media campaign to advocate what is social accountability. And of course, this is Student Declaration on Welcome to Social Accountability 2017, which was in Tunis. We declared something, that's what I was saying. So this is basically it. This is what social accountability is in less than 30 minutes. How to use the social accountability toolkit. And basically now we have 15 minutes for questions. If anyone has any questions, kindly comment on the YouTube video and we will check it and answer it. Cool. Seriously, guys, any questions? Okay, so we got someone asking, explain again what is social accountability. So let's repeat what is social accountability a little bit more in Arabic, in case someone didn't get all the well, we said a lot of words. Never mind. So social accountability or basically ما يقال عنه المسؤولية الاجتماعية هو إن إحنا تبقى الكلية بتاعتنا بتدرسنا حاجة هتطلعنا نخدم المجتمع بعد كده. اكزامبل مصغر على الموضوع ده زي ما كنا اتكلمنا فيه في الجي اي اللي فات. انك انت مثلا بتدرس ماده زي الباراسيتولوجي، باراسايت مش موجود غير في اليابان او باراسايت مش موجود غير في امريكا اللاتينيه. دي حاجه irrelevant، دي حاجه مش هتطلعك accountable، هتعرف تخدم المجتمع اللي عندك. فباختصار this is social accountability.
Yeah, I just want to add to this that social accountability is a partnership with all the stakeholders. I mean, not only the university, but also the public, the government, the healthcare organization, and the health professionals and medical students. These people all working together so they can address the needs of a community regarding healthcare and their health priorities. So this is how we should define social accountability. So, for example, in your university, in your hometown, there should be like a partnership with you as a medical student, with your all the healthcare professionals, and also your university, but also the local government, and all the concerned parties, so they can address for example, a healthcare priority. For example, it could be NCDs, it could be maternal health issues, etc. So this is how we can define, by an example, social accountability.
Okay, so I hope that this satisfies your question, Mr. Second question, if we have plans to follow the kit application on local level, not just introduction. We were already discussing it among the IT that we want to translate this toolkit and have it used in all regions. In EMR, we'd have to translate it to Arabic so that we can use it here in Egypt. And if it wasn't translated, I would get the permission to translate it so we can use it in the faculties as part of our medical education reform program. I hope that this satisfies your question. So, any other questions? Okay, so we have 5 more minutes for questions. If anyone have any question, please comment on the YouTube channel. Okay, so we have a question on what's our role as medical students? Should we be working on advocacy only, and can't we work on further bigger steps? Of course, our role is much bigger than just advocacy, but we're talking about our situation here in Egypt. We're talking about our situation in the Middle East or the EMR. The first step would be advocacy, and then we can take further bigger steps. We have our role. We are, as a certain person says, at the center of the stakeholders map. So yeah, we can take further steps. starting with building the capacity for the people to know what is social accountability, like what we're doing right now, raising the issue among the universities and trying to work on improving it. But for a starter, let's just start with the capacity building and the advocacy. I hope that this satisfies your question.
Yes, I just want to add up to this. All the steps matter in working for social accountability. For example, campaigning about social accountability and raising knowledge among medical students about this topic is really, really, really important to engage all medical students and and even your university in working towards a socially accountable school. So do not like underestimate any part and any step from this journey, I would say. It's really important.
Okay, so we have another question is, can we collect all sheets from all around the globe and generate a big statement? As I mentioned, and I'm going to share my screen with you again, there was a policy statement about social accountability during the World Summit on Social Accountability. You can find the student declaration of the World Summit Social Accountability 2017 on IFMSA page. I will be sharing this link with you after the webinar on our Facebook group in IFMSA-Egypt and our Yahoo server. I hope also that this satisfies your answer. Yeah, your question. Sorry. So we have another question on how can we involve medical students, more specifically on local level, to be more socially accountable. As we discussed already, this is something we can take by the first step, by making a small presentation, introducing students to the concept of social accountability, on how can we be socially accountable, advocated well first, and then approach, or we can do all this and then work on improving the system to be more socially accountable. I hope that this satisfies your question as well. Again, on the website, you can find the presentation on our, the presentation for a workshop if you want to conduct a workshop on social accountability on your local level. And you can take that as your first step. I hope that this satisfies your question. So we have 3 more minutes for questions. If anyone has any questions, please leave them on the YouTube page. So we have 2 questions. Can we start a small working group in Egypt on how to apply the social accountability toolkit? Yes, soon enough there will be an announcement. Wait for it. Second question, should we be talking to the university's officials about the ideas and actions to be taking, or just working on capacity building for now? As I already said, you can be doing both simultaneously depending on how compliant your faculty is. You can discuss it with the medical education unit, see what you can do, and then go a step further to the faculty administration and see what you can do. But you can do both simultaneously. It's not a 1, 2, 3 step. You can go in you can go through all the steps at the same time. I hope that this satisfies your question. And this ends the question time. If you have any questions, kindly send them to me on my email or through Facebook, whatever makes you comfortable. This marks the end of our first webinar of SCOME in IFMSA-Egypt. I hope that you find it beneficial and useful. And stay tuned, we have a lot of announcements related to social accountability soon for IFMSA-Egypt. Thank you so much for attending.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for having me as your guest, and I'm really happy to have had this webinar with you guys. And please, please do not just leave this topic of social accountability just to this webinar. It should go to and take further steps, because you have the power and you have all the means to make your school socially accountable. So don't hesitate to ask us any questions. Even Lina or myself, we can answer all of them. So have a good night, IFMSA Egypt. Thank you.